Masamune Makabe is introduced as a handsome guy who lives with his sister Chinatsu Hayes and his mother Kinyu Hayes, but he is self-conscious about high-calorie foods. On his first day of high school, Masamune witnesses Shigeo Yamada being publicly humiliated and rejected by Aki Adagaki. Masamune quickly befriends classmates Tei Futaba and Kojiro Shuri. When Aki finds classmate Akio Tanabe, she reads aloud his love letter and tears it up before rejecting him. Aki got the nickname Cruel Princess due to her family wealth and cruel methods of rejecting boys. Masamune recalls that Aki rejected him when they were childhood friends. Thanks to Kojiro, Masamune collects information about Aki, rumored to always eat alone despite being surrounded by her female friends. Massamun follows Aki's maid Yoshino Koiwai to a storage closet, where he learns that Aki is prone to hypoglycemia and needs to eat in large quantities in order to satisfy her appetite. Aki promises that Masamune will regret it if he ever exposes her secret. During volleyball practice, Kojiro says that there are rumors about Masamune and Aki being friends. After school, while Yoshino runs to the store to get some bread, Aki encounters an envious Akio who attempts to cut Aki's hair. Masamune suddenly intercepts and causes Akio to run away. When Masamune was a chubby boy in the past, he visited Aki at her mansion, only for her to reject him and call him Pig's Foot. Ever since then, he seeks revenge to win her heart before dumping her, calling it the dead or love plan. The next morning, after reconciling with Akio, Masamune finds an anonymous letter in his shoe locker with Pig's Foot written on it, fearing that someone might know about his past. Masamune becomes very cautious around his classmates. He was previously adopted by his grandfather and his last name was changed 8 years ago. During the lunchtime stampede at the cafeteria, he reluctantly helps Yoshino buy 5 explosive croquette buns and 4 cutlet sandwiches. Accompanying Yoshino to the storage closet, Masamune meets a dead end with Aki when he tries to find out who wrote the anonymous letter. After Masamune receives a juice box from Yoshino without a smile, Aki states that Yoshino has a habit of serving others, though Yoshino is expected to always serve Aki. Before taking his leave, Masamune tells Aki that he wants to serve her, causing Aki to blush. After lunchtime, Masamune is caught in a snare trap surprisingly set up by Yoshino. She releases him and explains that the Koiwai family has been attendants to the Adagaki family for 300 years. Yoshino even offers to help Masamune execute his revenge plan. In the hallway on the way to class, Masamune runs into Tei, who invites him to an upcoming class barbecue. He attempts to exchange email addresses with her, but he chickens out and asks Kojiro for advice. Tei learns that the school beautification committee lost a member, so Masamune volunteers to fill in the vacancy, but he is unable to get closer to Aki. In the classroom, Tei asks Masamune out on a movie date, but he kindly declines. When Tei leaves, Aki suddenly appears before Masamune. When Masamune attempts to exchange email addresses with Aki, she claims that her cell phone is being repaired. The following week, Masamune is sent on a wild goose chase all over school set up by Aki, who frustrates him with a written rejection. Yoshino then tells Masamune that she will help him go on dates with Aki. Tei announces that all her classmates will need to attend supplementary classes for a month if any student fails the proficiency test. Masamune decides to tutor Kojiro since he scored extremely low on his midterm exam. After Masamune sees Aki tutoring Yoshino nearby, Masasun and Aki each make a wager between who will score higher. Aki is surprised to learn from Yoshino that Masamune was the only student to get a perfect score on his transfer exam. Masamune receives a phone call from Yoshino, who says that she is unable to help him in the wager. Later on, Chinatsu and Kinyu are shocked to see Masamune studying instead of working out. On the day of the proficiency test, Yoshino gives Masamune a black iced coffee from the vending machine while telling him that all his studying does not matter. He starts to have a stomachache at the beginning of the proficiency test, theorizing that Aki ordered Yoshino to lace the drink with laxatives. However, he finds out that Aki was absent from a fever, and his boxed lunch caused the stomachache. Masamune and Aki end up being the only students to attend the supplementary classes. Masamune later meets Aki at the train station for a date. He sees her cosplaying as a magical girl, as she believes this to be the first date dress code. Masamune and Aki watch a horror movie in the theater with one empty seat between them. When they eat at a restaurant, a young girl asks Aki about her cosplay costume. After Masamune tells Aki that the first date dress code does not exist, Aki changes clothes in a dressing room. Masamune accidentally sees Aki in her undergarments, and she knocks him unconscious. Masamune reminisces about his first encounter with Aki at her mansion when they were children. When Masamune wakes up from Aki's lap at a park bench, she leaves after he apologizes for startling her. Yoshino contacts Masamune, saying that she agreed to help him with the revenge plan in efforts to make Aki humbler. Masamune reads a shoujo manga called Rose-Eyed Steroid, featuring the characters Eiji and Momo, in order to gather ideas to execute his revenge plan. He stares at Aki during supplementary class and offers her an umbrella when it begins to rain outside. Yoshino later tells Masamune to stop being creepy towards Aki, advising him to back off a bit. Because of this, he starts to ignore Aki, even when she tries to return his umbrella. Aki soon stops Masamune in the hallway, consequently being flustered when trying to confront him as to why she is being ignored. He admits that he ignored her on purpose because he likes her, and he runs away after saying that he likes everything about her. In the schoolyard, Yoshino refuses to give Masamune advice. Masamune writes a love letter and gives it to Aki, but she throws it away right in front of him. Aki runs away after saying that Masamune is acting like a selfish jerk. While Yoshino assures Masamune that she will take care of the matter, Aki runs to a playground, where she recalls seeing Masamune and Yoshino together in the schoolyard. Yoshino finds Aki at the playground and clears up the misunderstanding by saying that Masamune just needed some advice, especially since Yoshino is aware that Aki likes Masamune back. Afterwards, Aki crosses an intersection while thinking about Masamune. When an oncoming car approaches Aki, Masamune rescues her from danger in the nick of time. A girl wearing a rosary comes out of the car and hugs Masamune, but he does not recognize her at all. The girl believes her prayers were answered for having a chance meeting with Masamune. She is then told by her bodyguard Shido that they are running late. Once they depart, Aki walks off in a huff after witnessing everything. The next day at school, Masamune buys food during the lunchtime stampede, but he is then shot repeated by Yoshino with an air gun. Yoshino leaves after Masamune confesses that he does not know the girl. Masamune delivers the food outside the storage closet without meeting Aki. He is shocked to learn that the girl, recognized as Nico Fujinomiya, is a transfer student in his class. Masamune soon learns from Tae that Nico transferred into the school just because of him. Nico reveals that Masamune offered his coat to her during Christmas 3 years ago. However, he realizes that she was not referring to him because he was still chubby during that time. He grabs her by the hand and takes her outside, confronting her as to why she made up a lie, though she says that the truth is embarrassing. As Masamune admits having unrequited love for someone else, he takes Nico to see Aki in her class. When a boy opens the classroom window, Masamune and Aki discover that Nico mysteriously does not wear panties. Masamune tries to stop Aki when she leaves the classroom, but Aki accidentally punches a teacher in the face, causing Masamune and Aki to clean the swimming pool as punishment. Masamune sprays water from a hose on Aki, then Aki carries a bucket of water in order to get even. Aki trips and falls into the swimming pool and starts to drown, prompting Masamune to dive in and rescue her, though the swimming pool turns out to be rather shallow. Aki is surprised that Masamune saved her despite him avoiding to get wet. He admits that his body moved on its own, as well as the fact that he likes her, so she asks him to prove it by kissing her. In the schoolyard, Nico asks Yoshino where Masamune and Aki have been, but Yoshino says that she has no idea. At the swimming pool, Aki backs out before a hesitant Masamune tries to kiss her. When the swim team, including Tae, arrive for swimming practice, Aki leaves Masamune in the swimming pool. Masamune dries off in the schoolyard, where Nico sits beside him and offers hot tea filled with hydrating vitamins and minerals. He asks her about what she likes about him, and she answers that he is amazingly modest, a response that was unexpected of him. Yoshino follows Nico all the way towards Masamune's home. When Yoshino is noticed by Shido, Nico tells Shido that Yoshino is an attendant for Aki. Masamune arrives home, only to find out that Kinyu recruited Yoshino and Nico to assist in making fried shrimp in the kitchen. Yoshino notices all the gym equipment that Masamune has in his bedroom. When Nico finds the two, she says that Chinatsu just came home and the fried shrimp is ready. At the dining table, Masamune prevents Chinatsu from revealing his past. Masamune complains about the high calories and Nico complains about the low nutrients, much to Kinyu's worry. After eating, Chinatsu lights up fireworks. Yoshino tells Masamune about a time when Aki attached her to a bunch of fireworks in order to simulate a rocket launch, though Yoshino was blind and deaf for a week. Nico then tells Masamune that she admires Chinatsu, despite Masamune finding Chinatsu annoying. Kinyu and Chinatsu also have a watermelon seed spitting contest. While Shido drives Nico to her house, Masamune walks Yoshino to the main road, as Yoshino tells Masamune to avoid falling in love with Aki. It is revealed that Nico has stolen a childhood photo of Masamune and Aki. The next day, in the storage closet, Masamune tells Aki that she is amazingly modest, but she says that he is too conceited to accept being a moron. As summer vacation finally begins, Masamune plans his next move to get closer to Aki, convincing her to invite him to her summer villa in Tsunade Island, along with Nico, Tei, and Kojiro. On the yacht, Yoshino informs Masamune that her research on Nico came up short. Yoshino threatens Masamune that she will reveal the whole story up to this moment if he does not make Aki fall in love with him by the end of the trip. At Tsunade Island, Adagaki family secretary Midori Yusaki welcomes Masamune, Aki, Yoshino, Nico, Tei, and Kojiro to the summer villa. Masamune riskily declares that he is dating Aki, somehow convincing Yusaki. Aki is reluctant to pretend dating Masamune for the duration of the trip. At the beach, Nico gets extra close with Masamune when she wants him to apply sunscreen on her. Aki comes in between them and advises Nico to back off from her cheap flirting tricks. When Aki takes Masamune to an isolated area of the beach, she orders him to bring her back some lunch. While Masamune fetches a boxed lunch from Yusaki in the kitchen, Yusaki suggests for Masamune to visit a haunted mansion, though Yusaki secretly expresses envy towards Masamune for dating Aki. In the past, Yusaki witnessed a young Aki rejecting all the boys after she was abandoned by the chubby Masamune. In the present, Masamune, Aki, Yoshino, Nico, Tei, and Kojiro enter the haunted mansion at night one by one. Yusaki originally plans to cosplay as Ghostface in order to scare Masamune. However, Yoshino cosplays as Jason Voorhees and scares Yusaki, who runs away and ends up scaring Aki, Tei, and Kojiro in the process. Yusaki flees outside and encounters a spooky Nico, causing Yusaki to run into a pole. While Masamune later carries Yusaki on his back, he confides in her that he is not dating Aki. The next morning on the yacht, Yoshino respects Masamune for his risky strategy. Yoshino says that she will not say anything to Aki, but Yoshino states that she will not help Masamune if he cannot help himself. Masamune is contacted by Aki during his workout routine. He then tells Yoshino that Aki wants to meet in person in order to return a bag that he left at the summer villa. In his bedroom, Masamune realizes that the childhood photo of him and Aki has disappeared, certain that Nico stole it. Aki returns the bag to Masamune at a diner, though Masamune is bent on Nico stealing his childhood photo. Aki leaves after Masamune ignores her. Nico contacts Masamune and invites him to a water park with Tei. Masamune visits Nico in the afternoon at her apartment, where Nico makes hot tea. He snoops around her bedroom, filled with various pills and shoujo manga, but she eventually finds him. After she admits that she became interested in Rose-Eyed Steroid because of him, she comes clean with Masamune's childhood photo. Nico kisses Masamune unexpectedly, saying that health is more important than looks. As Masamune contemplates that appearance is only one aspect of a person, he reveals that he had a snobbish attitude when he was chubby. Before taking his childhood photo with him, Masamune tells Nico that he cannot be with her, adding that his heart belongs to Aki. The next morning, a groggy Masamune meets with Aki, Yoshino, Tei, and Kojiro at the water park, though Nico decided to cancel on them. Later on, Shido rushes to inform the others that Nico has run away from the apartment since the morning. To make matters worse, the pills that Nico are actually anticonvulsants, and she puts on a cheerful facade to mask her fragile condition. Since Shido is aware that Masamune previously visited Nico's apartment, Masamune confesses that he rejected Nico and chose Aki. As Aki ignores Masamune's confession, Shido informs everyone that Nico left her cell phone and wallet at the apartment. Leaving Masamune behind outside the water park, Shido drives Aki, Yoshino, Tei, and Kojiro as they split up around town in search of Nico. Masamune and Aki end up together at the school, where Aki empathizes Masamune for rejecting Nico, yet pities Nico for wallowing in misery. Masamune asks Aki if she knows about the nickname Pig's Foot, but many love letters in the form of paper planes appear in the sky, leading them to find Nico on the school rooftop. Nico collapses in Masamune's arms, and she is sent to the hospital. Masamune contemplates if rejecting Nico was worth it, and he then visits her in the hospital room, where she starts talking about the past. It is shown that Nico was invited to a birthday party by 3 girls, but her condition was brought up when they mentioned tennis. Nico's grandfather suggested for her to undergo surgery, even though her condition would not be cured. She wanted the chance of falling in love, and she decided to pursue Masamune. Nico enjoys the chase of falling in love, noting that she and Masamune are very much alike. Aside from experiencing unrequited love for herself, she is satisfied that Masamune will not follow the same path. In the hospital lobby, Tei tells Yoshino and Kojiro that she had feelings for Masamune, though she is glad to have friends. When Masamune comes back to the hospital lobby, he walks past Aki on his way out. While heading home, Masamune worries that he will end up on the same path of unrequited love, though he is still determined to execute his revenge plan. Outside her mansion, Aki recalls her conversation with Nico in the hospital room, in which Nico questioned Aki about her persistence of doubting Masamun's love. Aki believes that Masamun was very attractive when he was chubby. Masamun packs a duffel bag and leaves Chinatsu and Kinyu. Aki is approached by a boy who resembles a chubby Masamun. Yoshino's father is shocked to learn from a letter that the boy, introduced as Kanetsugu Gasso, is betrothed to Aki. As summer vacation ends, Aki rejects the head player of the varsity baseball team outside school. Despite this, Tei, Sonoka Kaneko, and Mari Mizuno are shocked to see that Aki has gone soft around Kanetsugu when the two head off to class. Masamune is surprised that Nico has returned to school after recovering from her surgery in the past month, while Nico realizes that Masamune did not make any progress with his revenge plan. When Masamune goes to see Aki after class, he is surprised to see that Kanetsugu is not only a transfer student in her class, but also is engaged to her. Yoshino takes Masamune to the storage closet, where she confirms that Aki and Kanetsugu are living together at the mansion. Masamune observes that Kanetsugu is an exceptional soccer player, is very academically smart, and is inclined to sit next to Aki during lunchtime. After school, Tei, Sonoka, and Mari meet up at a fast food restaurant in order to discuss how Aki has changed. The next day at school, Tei proposes a play for the Osaka Festival, in which Kojiro and Masamune will star as Snow White and Prince Charming. After class, Masamune corners Aki against a wall in the hallway, but he is bereft of words, causing Aki to walk back to Kanetsugu. Tei, Sonoka, and Mari intend to protect Aki from Masamune as the three recall the conversation with Kanetsugu at the fast food restaurant, revealing that Kanetsugu does not plan to kiss Aki even though he is engaged to her. Sonoka uses her status as the student council vice president in order to deny approval for the proposal of Class 2B to produce the play. Tei and Masamune learn that Class 2A had the same proposal for Aki and Kanetsugu. To solve this issue, Masamune suggests a promotional competition for a poll between both plays. Masamune also wagers with Kanetsugu, in which the winner gets to dance with Aki at the afterparty. Tei acts sternly towards Kojiro during a stage rehearsal of the play in the school gymnasium. Kojiro runs out in the hallway and encounters Nico, who is on her way to the school gymnasium carrying her costume. Kanetsugu approaches Masamune in the schoolyard, boasting that he gives Aki some chocolates during breaks. While Aki and Kanetsugu walk towards the food trucks after school, Kanetsugu reminisces that his poor parents wanted him to marry a rich girl. Masamune gets sick at home after exercising in his underwear, prompting Chinatsu to summon Kinyu, who wraps Masamune in blankets. On the day of the Osaka Festival, Sonoka hosts the promotional competition for the plays. Nico takes Masamune to the school infirmary, where she instinctively knows that he was sick and tucks him in the bed. She leaves after saying that she would not mind being his dance partner at the afterparty. With an hour before the performance, Kojiro finds Nico at the food stalls. In the school gymnasium, they inform Tei that Masamune has gone missing. Meanwhile, a skilled kendo practitioner named Kikuni Kiba has captured Masamune in a closet and wrapped him in blankets. Mari orders Kikuni to keep Masamune hostage until Aki and Kanetsugu finish dancing at the afterparty. Aki finds out that Kanetsugu also has gone missing. Yoshino previously disguised herself as the evil queen and locked Kanetsugu in another closet. Kikuni releases Masamune after he accuses her of being unfair. Masamune confidently waits for his friends to rescue him after realizing from Mari that Kanetsugu is also taken hostage. Aki tells Mari that the show must go on without Kanetsugu. After receiving a message from Mari saying to leave Masamune and find Kanetsugu, a furious Kikuni chases Masamune out the window, but she falls into the fountain below while he hangs onto the ledge. Tei and Kojiro tell Masamune that Aki is still performing without Kanetsugu, prompting Masamune to run back inside. Masamune runs to the school gymnasium, where he is in awe that Class 2A began their play without Kanetsugu. To prevent Aki from humiliating herself as Snow White, Masamune ignores Mari's objections and volunteers to be Prince Charming, thanks to Nico. During the scene where Snow White ate the poisoned apple and dies in a coffin with the 7 dwarfs tearfully surrounding her, Prince Charming appears on stage. Despite being stricken with a fever, Masamune pushes through and manages to kiss Aki, but she punches him in embarrassment as the play comes to a close. During the afterparty, students of Class 2A and Class 2B eventually decide to have a karaoke battle as a tiebreaker for the competition. Tei, Aki, Nico, and Yoshino each select songs, singing with mics and scoring pretty high. However, Sonoka and Kikuni catch on to Masamune as he tries to escape from the karaoke battle. Aki and Nico even perform a duet together. When it is Masamune's turn to sing, he ends up scoring the lowest despite burning 15 calories. Afterwards, Masamune and Aki sit on a park bench while waiting for Yoshino to come back from shopping. Masamune and Aki discuss how he stepped in during her play. He asks her to kiss him, but he ends up being fed a sweet baked potato just when Yoshino returns. When Aki and Yoshino leave, Masamune plots to execute his revenge plan during a class trip to Paris. Don't forget to write comments because you can be in the next video. Right, I want to be in the video and you will definitely get in. Thanks for watching.